I apologize if this one's a bit scrappier because I did this one pretty impromptu. Just because I was thinking about that this piece we've been talking about is just the widening gap between our biological and cultural evolution. And I was thinking about what I said when I introduced this series on how we're wired. And I was thinking about the times in my life where this lack of understanding is basically about, again, how we're wired, how our brains have kind of been shaped over time, therefore how they react when we put them in certain situations and this environment which really isn't natural for them. Most of the way we live, especially in very, not just capitalist, but very urban cities and cultures, urbanized cultures, how it's a huge clash, it's a huge confliction with that, with the instruction manual. Just all the times where I didn't have that clarity because I just didn't know, I didn't understand. And in that episode, I was also lamenting that. I was lamenting how many people are never going to get any awareness over this. And it's a bit of a bummer, guys. It's a bit of a bummer, guys. It really is. Like, I just think it's a genuine bummer. I was thinking in particular, I think I referred to this when we were talking about pleasure treadmill. I was thinking about my time at uni, for example, which was a real pleasure treadmill lifestyle. How I did a degree. I didn't really go into it with the right attitude or really knew what I was doing. I just kind of went into it. And I didn't really enjoy my time at uni. It was really, it wasn't that stimulating. I didn't like the environment I was in. It was quite boring. It was very academic. It was very dry. I didn't make new friends. I was very disconnected. But I had friends outside of uni, but even then, a lot of the interaction was just shaped around kind of going out. And I don't think even me and those friends really made the most of each other in each other's lives at that time. I think we could have been a lot more connected than we were. And I would crave for holiday time when I was at uni, but then when I actually got into the holidays and didn't have to do my assignments and exams anymore, I found myself almost wishing I was back at uni because I was so unstimulated, because Astro got so lethargic and I wasn't walking the dog. I wasn't exercising the dog, wasn't giving him sunlight. I just did nothing. And what happened, you can't leave a dog inside all the time. So it was obviously a mistake that is really useful now because as a reference point, I know not to do that. And it gives me great context for these learnings. And that's the thing when I think about, I really believe that all problems we have culturally, socially, individually can be traced back basically to this widening gap, to this conflict, to this war that's been raging between a world and a law of nature that has been based on natural selection, and then how we as a species have kind of changed the rules. We're playing a different game within the confines of the old game, where it's not necessarily the survival of the fittest so simply because who the fittest is can depend on who cares about you. But yeah, at the risk of being vague, how many of those challenges? So when I think about mental illness is a big one, for example, that's a very controversial and sensitive topic today. And part of what I think about is what portion of that problem is one, misunderstood, and one, just created by bad programming. The way we're programmed culturally and socially, which is not with awareness of basically how inappropriate this Astro the dog is to fit with the way we live and have built our lives. So the point, I think, I want to make. And again, I did apologize that this would be pretty scattered. The point I think I want to make is just remembering what I say at the end of every episode. I don't want it, because I repeat that line, for it to lose its significance and its meaning and its weight. Because honestly, the best way to open 1,000 doors for each of us is to concentrate on opening doors for others. And often that is thought of as helping someone get a job, giving someone a work opportunity, throwing someone a bone. But in my life, the most powerful doors that have been, maybe the most subtle doors that have been opened are doors in the mind. And it's been people who have helped me understand the deeper nature of things. If there's been anything you've listened to so far on this podcast that has been useful and interesting to you, it's probably because it was shaped by a conversation with a friend like Nick, or a friend like Scott, or a friend like Michael, or a friend like Phil, or Liam, or Hannah, or someone, all these awesome people, or my family sometimes. All these incredible things, and it's this whole beautiful cross-pollination of what we learn all coming together. So each of us is always on a learning journey, whether we are awake to that or not. And the implications are everywhere. So if you want a little thought exercise, you can find a problem that you care most about in the world right now. I have many. I couldn't even start to do this. Think about just one problem, a problem in your life, a big social problem. What is it? Is it inequality? Is it social injustice? Is it you don't like the breath of the guy who sits next to you at work? Who knows what it is? And I would challenge you to not find a link between that problem and how we've evolved, and the gap between our biological evolution and our kind of cultural and social evolution. One compounds and one doesn't compound. Our brains don't change as fast as the environment around us. And I guess my emphasis just for this little episode is to not forget that importance of opening those mental doors, helping other people understand that without shoving it down their throats, but just creating the room where this conversation can kind of naturally happen is hugely important. And of course, with the 1,000 doors concept, it'll circle back to you in some way, shape, or form. So, thank you for putting up with my scattered thoughts, rant, whatever this little mind fart would be labelled as. And thank you for listening to the With Joe Wehbe podcast. Thanks for embracing these ideas. Thanks for being there as doors open. Take care, and I'll speak to you next time.